Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to beautiful sunny Ocean City. It's a pleasure to be with all of you. I'm sorry. Let me reprogram that. Good evening. Welcome to the beautiful United States Naval Academy and the Navy Marine Corps Stadium, a place that we have been before and enjoyed, and it's just a thrill to be back here. Because of the association, certainly with the state of Maryland, but because of the warmth that we have received here traditionally as we've come to have this banquet at a time when we needed to be in a place that was secure and we could come together and celebrate the presidents at that time. Again, tonight we come here and we're just a little bit off schedule. We're not in Ocean City. Well, things happen, and we wanted, when I say we, collectively, that intimacy that we have enjoyed here at this facility, and it works well for us. So we come here, we can have our pageantry, we can have the elegance that you all deserve, because we're not in, as I tell the fire companies when I do this, in our t-shirts and shorts, and we're filthy dirty, and the ladies are serving us ham sandwiches and coffee. All right? That's not the case. Tonight is the night that we come together to enjoy each other in our fellowship and friendship and have a meal prepared and served in an elegant fashion. That's what it's all about. Now, in order to do that, we have come together to celebrate the joint officers of the associations. A president of our association, Ben Kurtz, and Malia Dalton, the president of the Ladies Auxiliary. Where are both of them? If you could stand so we can begin that way. Thank you. My darling Benjamin, that's all right. And what's wrong? Okay. Whew. I thought I was getting my first direction off camera. There we go. So as we do that, we want to open in our usual form and pay respect to our nation's flag. But in order to do that properly, I would ask our veterans first, would you please stand, or anyone actively serving in our military to please stand. And we thank you for your service. Please remain standing. And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you all please rise as we honor our nation's colors, and please remain standing through the national anthem, the pledge, and the invocation. Our Pledge of Allegiance this evening will be offered by our fire prevention ambassadors, Ashley Paulson and Caroline Little. Would you please come forward for the pledge?
Colors, present, arms.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please enjoy the video presentation of our national anthem.
Colors, shoulder, arms.
The invocation and grace this evening will be offered by the Maryland State Firemen's Association Chief Chaplain John Long.
Please join me in prayer. Almighty God, we thank you for this wonderful and marvelous day, Father, the chance to travel to Annapolis in beautiful weather, to join with each other in fellowship, to celebrate this past year of the accomplishments of the Maryland State Firemen's Association and the ladies auxiliary to the Maryland State Firemen's Association. Father, we thank you for the leadership of Ben and Malia as they've guided the organizations throughout the year. Father, we thank you for all the committees that have worked so hard for the association and all the committee members who dedicate their time to work for the association for a better fire service. Father, there are many who have left us this past year, and we lift their families up. And Father, we just pray for comfort as they normally would be here with us this weekend. Father, we ask you to bless this food to nourish our bodies and the fellowship that follows. We ask this all in your name. Amen.
Before they dismiss, ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in thanking the Harford County Honor Guard and our firefighters' pipes and drums who honored us this evening with the presentation of the colors. Honor Guard Commander, you can dismiss at your discretion.
Colors, right face. Drum major, by your command. Colors, mark, time, march. Forward, march.
In my world, that's called a flyby on departure. Let's thank them again since they can hear us. Please be seated. We have a bit of a treat for you this evening. As all of you know, this is what? June now. All right, we've crossed over into the month of June, and we have what I will call a freshly minted Maryland State Comptroller. And this nice lady reached out to us and said, "Hey, you're coming to Annapolis. Wouldn't we like to get together, and I'd like to greet all the state firefighters." That's awesome. So first of all, we thank her for doing that. Secondly, we understand the reasoning because she's not that far from her office on a Saturday evening and can get a little bit extra work done, and we understand that too. But I think more importantly is that she understands the historical value of her office and the fact that there was a comptroller, Louis L. Goldstein, right, who was a member of the fire service and had a strong relationship with the Maryland State Firemen's Association for decades. So we would look forward to that as well with her. And I would tell you that if you're not a member of the Volunteer Fire Service, I didn't think you were, that we have a volunteer fire company somewhere near you who will extend the invitation to be a member. How's that?
Sounds good.
That's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome the Comptroller of the State of Maryland, the Honorable Brooke E. Learman.
Well, thank you so much for that kind introduction. And I am truly, I am Brooke Learman. I'm so honored to be here tonight, Mr. County Executive, Mr. President Kurtz, and Madam President. It's wonderful to be here with all of you. It really is an honor and a treat. So to those of you who have not been here in some time, welcome to Annapolis. If you drive just down the road a little bit, you will come across the Louis Goldstein Treasury Building, where I'm so honored to serve as the 34th Comptroller of the State of Maryland and the first woman to have ever been elected to this position. Yes. Thank you. As comptroller, I've now been in the job not quite 5 months, and I've learned quite a bit. And one of the things I've learned is how important my predecessors have been, not just here in the state, but nationally. Louis Goldstein was a national figure. He served for many, many years. And we still today honor him in many ways, including every time we give a tax deduction to the volunteer fire, rescue, and emergency medical services personnel, because our tax deduction for all of you is named the Louis Goldstein tax deduction. So we continue to celebrate him and his work. But one of the things that I've learned certainly from him and reading about him, and that I continue to learn in my travels around the state from all of you, is how we can be partners in public service. You all are public servants of the best kind. Families across Maryland sleep well at night knowing that you are there, knowing that you are at the helm, that you are ready to go, and your colleagues as well. By ensuring that you have the adequate training and education, knowing your skills in leadership, knowing that you have the equipment you need, Maryland residents are able to rest easy, knowing that volunteers put their lives on behalf of others who've been trained to do this work. And I thank you. As a mother and as a Marylander, I thank you and your colleagues for your service. I'm also proud. Most people, when I'm gathering around the state, they've heard of Louis Goldstein, they've heard of Peter Francho. They don't actually know what the comptroller does, but they know who the comptrollers have been. And so I also want to make sure that you understand this important role is about serving you in many, many ways. I am proud to be the elected CFO of the state of Maryland. My agency sees every dollar in and every dollar out of the state. I sit on numerous boards, including our State Retirement and Pension System Board and the Board of Public Works, where just 2 weeks ago, I was so pleased to vote in favor of several $1 million to many fire companies to buy replacement engines to make sure that you have the money you need. I know how difficult COVID was because of the lack of activities, and as a member of the General Assembly, I was proud to vote in support of a budget that also appropriated money so that you could replace and keep up to date with what you needed. So I recognize I'm between the colors, the invocation, and dinner, so I'm going to be brief. But I couldn't let the moment pass without coming by to again say thank you for your service. I truly hope this is the beginning of a conversation and not the end. I look forward to working with you in partnership as public servants for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Well done. And I invited the comptroller, as she got a bite to eat, to please make her way around and visit all the tables. So when she does that, would you please make her feel welcome, so that I look like I was serious up here when I said what I said? That would be really nice. Thank you. And you enjoy that as you go around, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, now you can sit back and enjoy dinner. It will be served. Please don't move. Stay there. Enjoy yourself. And we'll be back at approximately 8:15 to start the program. Do enjoy. Thank you.
Good evening, President Kurtz and President Dalton, esteemed colleagues and guests of the 2023 annual presidential banquet here in our beautiful Maryland state capitol. It's my honor to join you this evening and to say thank you to the MSFA leadership and its members' companies. It does not seem like it's been a year since you two were sworn into office. On behalf of Governor Moore and the Maryland Department of Emergency Management, I would like to thank each of you for your leadership and strengthening of the MSFA and the Emergency Management Partnership. I would also like to express my gratitude to the emergency responders, your families, and your members back home in your community for all that they do every day for residents of Maryland. As you know, MDEM's vision is to shape a resilient Maryland where communities thrive. And to accomplish this vision, we depend on our partners like you to meet the challenges and hazards we face as Marylanders head on. Over the past year, we have worked together to improve the services provided to the residents of Maryland. We will continue to work together on developing plans for the many emerging areas of our profession. It is important for both of our organizations to continue to work together into the future so that we reinforce a culture of whole community preparedness here in our state. Among the many things we do on a daily basis, resilience requires legislation that supports the resources needed to achieve it. I want to thank you for your support during the 2023 legislative session. While we supported several bills, there is one in particular that is very important. Senate Bill 650 and House Bill 789, known as the Public Safety State Disaster Recovery Fund. This bill creates the State Disaster Recovery Fund, a non-lapsing fund to be administered by MDEM. This bill serves to bridge the void that individuals and families often encounter in the aftermath of a disaster. Specifically, it offers them disaster recovery assistance when local government has submitted a request for a disaster declaration, but a federal disaster declaration is not received, and for unmet needs of individuals and families following a federal disaster declaration. With these resources and support, we can bolster our capacity to recover from disasters and overcome the challenges of the no man's land that often follows. Thank you for supporting this legislation. I would be remiss if I did not thank all the past presidents, many of whom are with us today. Each of you had a very important part in leading the two associations through challenging times. Your leadership has paved the way for this organization to be where it is now. As we continue to shape, build, and improve Maryland's resiliency, I challenge all of us to continue to be fully committed. The MDEM team looks forward to the support and partnership of the MSFA as we continue to move forward. I hope each of you will take the time to say thank you to your significant others and your family for all they do while you provide these important services. President Kurtz and President Dalton, I hope each of you take a deep, calming breath and look back on your year as presidents with a smile on your face. Remember your families and take some time to enjoy life. We all join you in thanking them for all they have done to support you while you sacrifice time away from them to serve everyone in this room and all Marylanders. We enthusiastically look ahead to the opportunities to collaborate and make a difference in our state. Thank you for all you do, and congratulations on this special evening.
On behalf of Maryland State Police Superintendent Colonel Roland L. Butler Jr. and the entire Department of Sworn and Civilian Personnel, I congratulate MSFA President Ben Kurtz and Ladies Auxiliary MSFA President Malia Doughton for being honored here this evening. We're truly proud and appreciative of the service each of you have provided to the Maryland State Firemen's Association, your home departments, and the communities you serve. Without selfless leaders such as yourselves and the volunteer men and women you lead, the MSP and the Aviation Command could not fulfill our mission. Since the first medevac over 50 years ago, fire department ground providers worked alongside our pilots and medics, providing life-saving services to those in need. Since then, your personnel have assisted the Maryland State Police with over 150,000 life-saving patient transports. I'd like to personally thank both presidents for their leadership. We're extremely grateful for your extraordinary contributions while in office in 2022 and 2023. In recognition of your individual accomplishments, each of you have been issued a superintendent salute for your unwavering support of public service. We applaud your dedication to Maryland's emergency medical services and for the many years you have dedicated to helping others. Congratulations.
Hey, good evening. I hope everybody's having a great time tonight here at the Gala in Annapolis as we recognize Ben and Malia for their years in their presidency. We wish them all the best in their future endeavors and thank them for their dedication and commitment to the MSFA and the LA MSFA over these many, many years. So thank you.
President Kurtz, over the past year, you have demonstrated your ability to promote and advocate for our state's first responders. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and instructors at the Maryland Fire and Rescue Institute, please accept this plaque as a token of our gratitude. Your dedication to Maryland's fire, EMS, and rescue services is unparalleled and positively impacts the more than 6 million people who call Maryland home. Thanks again for all that you do. President Doughton, we are thankful for your leadership of the Ladies Auxiliary during the past year. Today, we recognize your commitment and achievements. We also acknowledge and applaud the time you have devoted to the Maryland State Firemen's Association. On behalf of all of us at the Maryland Fire and Rescue Institute, we present this plaque to you as a sign of our gratitude. Thank you.
The MSFA and the Ladies Auxiliary are important stakeholders and advocates for Maryland's statewide emergency medical services system. It is my privilege to work with their leaders to ensure the important perspectives of the volunteer fire service are accounted for as we continuously work to make Maryland better. Under the leadership of Presidents Kurtz and Doughton, we have made a difference. Ben and Malia, thank you for your collaboration, your partnership, your leadership, and your friendship. Congratulations on a great year.
Good evening. My name is Becky Gilmore, and I am the Trauma Program Manager for the R. Adams Cowley Shock Trauma Center.
And I'm Justin Graves, Director of the Trauma Programs. On behalf of the R. Adams Cowley Shock Trauma Center, we would like to take this opportunity to thank the 2023 outgoing presidents of the Maryland State Firemen's Association, Ben Kurtz, and Ladies Auxiliary Maryland State Firemen's Association, Malia Doughton. Thank you for all that you've done over the past year during your presidencies, and for your extensive service throughout your careers.
Your leadership over the past year has continued to uphold the mission of the MSFA, as you have accepted and fulfilled the challenge to serve, promote, advocate, and represent the MSFA to the highest possible standard. I feel that this has been a great year as we have returned to our in-person meetings, and I have enjoyed working with you both.
In recognition for our gratitude and appreciation of your service, we at the R. Adams Cowley Shock Trauma Center would like to present each of you with a personalized embroidered shock trauma jacket. Please accept this as a symbol that we consider each of you to be valued partners with us at Shock Trauma, as we strive to fulfill our mission of dedication to maintaining world-class standards in the prevention and management of critical injury, illness, and its consequences. Thank you for all that you do.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again. We're about to get our program underway, but before we do that, I want to make some introductions to you that are important to us because of our history. And this message goes to all of you here, and that's the staff here at the stadium. We tell this story because it honors you through us. And that is that some time ago, when our fire service was young, it was commonplace for us to gather in our communities. Because in many places, the fire station, or what was then called the fire hall, was the cornerstone of the community. And it was not uncommon for the auxiliary to prepare a meal, and the community would gather, and the firefighters would gather, and we would come together and enjoy each other's company. And because of you, tonight, we get to enjoy that history. You have prepared that meal. You have labored, right? You have served our beverages. You have managed us all the way through this. Thank you, Cheryl, right? And gotten us there. So, on behalf of all of us, we would just like to acknowledge that history and acknowledge that service that you provided to the Maryland State Firemen's Association. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Cheryl, smile. Thank you. There we go. All right, we also want to acknowledge the John Hall Law Group, who is our corporate partner this evening, and their motto was on the wall. And we thank all of our partners who contributed to the videos as well. And we'll look forward to the others seeing them in Ocean City. Let's do that. Now, every once in a while, and you all know, in Ocean City, we enjoy our special speakers. And many of them participate not only as a keynote speaker or a main presenter, but also do our training programs, right, in the side rooms. And that's absolutely awesome. This next gentleman is just that. And I'd like to welcome Deputy Chief Alan Baldwin. He's from the York County, Virginia Fire Department Fire and Life Safety Department. He has 40 years in the fire service, and that experience as active suppression instructor. He has also served as both career and volunteer in an officer capacity. Chief Baldwin holds a master's degree in organizational leadership. He is an executive fire officer, a fire officer 4, a chief fire officer, chief EMS officer, and chief training officer. All these designations through the Center for Public Safety. It's a pleasure to have him and share some time with him at dinner. Would you all please welcome Deputy Chief Alan Baldwin. You can do that as you like, right? I did that just to make sure.
President Kurtzer, President Doughton, thank you very much for the opportunity this evening. Good evening. It's truly an honor and privilege to be here this evening and to address this distinguished group of leaders. It has been my distinct pleasure and honor to call many of you friends over the years. And I'm thankful for the long-standing relationship with the Maryland State Firemen's Association, the Maryland Fire Chiefs, and the various departments in the state that I've been able to work with. The kindness, friendship, and support that my family and I have received over the last 20 years has been incredible from this organization. And the honor of being one of the few outsiders to be inducted into the Maryland State Firemen's Association Hall of Fame several years ago is something that I hold as one of my greatest achievements in the fire service. So again, thank you for that honor. So this evening, I'd like to do something a little different instead of standing on a soapbox or preaching. I'd like to have a talk with you. I hope that this talk will cause you some reflection and take you back to where your beginnings were in the fire service, and those that helped you get to where you are today and instill the importance of never forgetting where it all started for you. The saying, "Don't forget where it started," or where you came from, is often used to remind someone to stay grounded and to remember his or her roots or origins. It can be interpreted as a call to remain humble or not let success or newfound status change who you are or where you came from. It can also be a way to honor one's past and the people and experiences that have shaped them. Overall, the saying encourages people to stay connected to their roots and not lose sight of their values and identity. So I'd ask you, how do you fit into this? Have you forgotten where you came from, where you started at? Who was with you when you started? As we move through our fire service journey, have we lost touch with our roots? Have we forgotten the foundations of the service that were imprinted on us and why we got involved? Have we gotten too big for ourselves or forgotten who helped us get to where we are and why. Personally, for me, my start, I always made it to a point to never forget where it all started, where I came from in this business. So where did it start for you? Remember back to those days, the first day you walked in the station? Where did it start for you? Was it a career? Was it a small volunteer department? Was it a family? Was it a particular department and friends? Or was there someone who took the time and interest in you as they saw something in you that you had not seen yourself and hooked you in and reeled you into the department? For me, as with a lot of us, it started in the family bloodline with a few recessive genes long before I was ever thought of. My great-great-grandfather in the Paoli, Pennsylvania Volunteer Fire Department. My grandfather in the little town of Sutersville, Pennsylvania. And my father, who was not a firefighter but a city manager for over 40 years. All this provided exposure while growing up through the family history, pictures, stories, and even an old uniform from my great-great-grandfather that still hangs in my parents' house. Fireman fairs with my grandfather and spaghetti dinners in Sutersville at the firehouse. Station visits and community activities with my father, as he has always had a soft spot for the fire department and EMS agencies, even though he wouldn't admit it. Little did I realize even our discussions at the dinner table between him and I over fire department business versus the local government was helping prepare me for my journey. As a side note, my mother had to institute a gag order during the meals. We could not talk about the fire department and municipal business. I know, it's hard to believe that a young 20-year-old lieutenant had all the answers. I thought I did, but as I look back today, I still don't have any answers, maybe. Not as many. So when did the call of duty come for you? When did that call come? Where did it come from? For me, I couldn't wait to reach that right age. Don't know if it was the fire trucks, the excitement of seeing the calls, whatever. And because of the influence of some friends, I signed up for what would become a lifelong calling. Throughout this calling, I've met my wife, and my son carries on the tradition, which I guess has become the family business in some sense. As I signed up to start this journey, it was hard for this young kid to comprehend the friendships that were made and what would be forged for a lifetime, and that the people I was serving next to would mean so much to me at the early stages of the journey. But even more importantly, what they mean to me as the journey continued. Paths would be crossed several times more. Even this evening, Dr. Delbridge, common friends, paths always cross. Never know where you end up someplace, and paths will cross. What paths have you crossed since the day you walked into the station for the first time? Some of these folks have remained friends, while others have become mentors and wise providers of guidance to help keep me grounded over the years. The department I joined was a small department, but a well-trained, had great leadership, a proud history, we're a very tight-knit department. It was all about the family of the department and the family at home. The chief of the department approached me when I was young, in high school, knew my interest in the service, and the department was always looking for new members. I guess he could see it, and today they can see it in our eyes. Think about the time when you were approached about joining that department, that look in your eyes. For some of you, maybe it's repeated yourselves. For a little while, I left the fire service, moved to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. The fire chief showed up a couple weeks after moving in. He knew how to hook me back in. You know, I probably had that look again. Instead of being that 16 or 18-year-old, it was a 34-year-old. But anyways, even though the department only ran 50 calls a year and had limited funding, we were a well-trained and functioning family. This family set and cast the die for my journey, and this experience set the stage for the next 40 years. How many of us have moved on to busier, larger departments and gotten further away from your roots or beliefs? How many feel that there is a loss of what your roots of the department roots are? Those that know me know that I always say family first. And yes, sometimes I need to be reminded to practice what I preach. But I've never forgotten my humble beginnings. How about you? Or where have you started? No matter how humble they are, is what defines you, those beginnings. Make an effort to go back to those beginnings, reconnect with those that were there and helped you get started or supported you along the way on this journey. I always try to keep track of my home department and support whatever I can, even from a distance. I had the opportunity to visit a few years back on a training night. It was great to catch up, especially with the chief, because when I left the department, he was a junior member. I could think, how could we have voted this young man in? Anyways, I digress, sorry. He had also, though, arranged to have the old chief that brought me into the department there. This chief really showed me a lot about what it was to be a leader and what it was to lead the department, run the department, be there for your people, and keep the family together. It was interesting, both the current chief and the past chief mentioned they've kept tabs on me, especially because they had heard some time ago that no matter where I am speaking or instructing at, they'll always let people know that the journey started for me at the Wilkins Township #1 Volunteer Fire Company just outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I owe a great deal to them because of what they gave me. So how often do you let folks know your humble beginnings? When's the last time you went back to those beginnings and visited with some of the people who were there when you started and walked in that first night? So some more thinking, and I promise there's no test afterwards tonight. I'd like you to think about who has been with you on this journey and who has packed your parachute over the years. I've been very lucky, fortunate, and blessed over the years to have met many people who have mentored me, guided me, looked out for me, been there for me in some dark and troubling waters, and more importantly, have been great friends. Some of them are in this room tonight, several from this organization. Bob Cumberland, Jack Ferguson from Rockville, Maryland, Jeff Thompson, Gene Worthington, Chief Ron Cernicki, Steve Austin. One gentleman that isn't here tonight, and I apologize if I get a little emotional, is Terry Thompson. Terry is one that is not with us, as I said, tonight, and we all know why. His passing left a great void for me. Not only was Terry a friend, but a mentor and a wise provider of guidance that I could always count on for telling it to me straight. I'm not sure why I took an interest in this guy from Pennsylvania, but he was always checking in and up on me. He would offer advice and guidance, those of you know Terry, even when I didn't ask for it. And I'm forever grateful that he did. There have been others with me that I will not forget, as I'm sure there are people that have passed on what they were for you. I'd ask you to take a brief minute and reflect upon them. For those that have been with you, take some time to reach out to them before you can. I'm grateful on the Saturday during the past Memorial Weekend in Gettysburg and National Fire Academy, or the National Fallen Firefighters Memorial, Bill Hildebrand and I got on the phone with the Gettysburg Wyndham crew and called Terry. We talked to Terry as we missed his presence there for the weekend. Little did we know it would be the last time we would speak. Again, please don't wait to reach out to some of these people who've been with you on the journey till it's too late. So a few points to ponder as I close. Never forget where you got started or came from or why you became a firefighter in the first place. When we start to climb the ranks, it seems like part of the process includes forgetting what it's like to be a line firefighter, the challenges of the job, and what it takes to get the job done. Stay grounded. Do not forget where it started and the basics. As an officer, especially a chief officer, don't forget the basics. When's the last time you pulled a line, threw a ladder, participated in a burn session, or lit a crew inside on a mutual aid call where you didn't have to take command? Again, don't be afraid to go back to the basics, where it started. To the officers, never forget why you started this career and calling and what it is that the firefighters working under your command need to really expect. For officers, don't forget to love this job so much that your members see it and it makes them love the job even more. Don't forget everything about the job that made you love it in the beginning when you started. Never forget where you started and the pride. Never lose sight of where you're going, and never take for granted the people who traveled the journey with you. If you'd like to continue this discussion, please stop by and see me on June 20th at 9 a.m. in the Convention Center. I'd love to continue the conversation, have some more discussions about never forget where you started from. Again, thank you for the opportunity and privilege to be here tonight. It's always good to be among friends. Thank you.
Chief, I need my program. It's really.
What's it worth to you? How much?
Anything.
Taking bids? We're going to go fundraising tonight? Sorry.
Thank you, folks. Been a nice night. Well, thanks, Chief. It's a pleasure to have you here. And I'm just going to compliment your speech and say I never forgot where I started. Because the same person's been with me ever since I walked through the doors of the fire station. That's that lady right there, right? And I know I'm not the only one in the room, but I'm just saying it, so you all better say it too, all right, as you need to. Thank you, dear. All right, we've come to the point where we're going to introduce our presidents because it has been a year, right? And they're just, tonight they're winding down. We can say that. They're coming together to enjoy their banquet, and they can start to just coast into Ocean City. How's that? Right? And this works out so well, right? Because when I say coast into Ocean City, you're not flying into Ocean City, trying to get your keys, trying to get checked in, trying to look beautiful, trying to get, everything done. We're here, and it's much easier, so we can enjoy that. The two of you have had an incredible year, and you've had successes. You've had challenges. Benjamin? Yes. More challenges to come, right? Because it's not over until it's over. Let the games begin. Very well done. And I'll dovetail on the Chief's comments as well, because one of the people that I've known since the day I set foot in Harford County back in 1984, Ben Kurtz was there, right? And one of the first people in the adjacent company that I got to know. And we would see each other on medical calls as paramedics and back each other up and support each other. It's always been enjoyable to go to Jarrettsville because I always felt like I knew the company and had friends. And Ben is a big part of that. With that, seeing him rise through the chairs and becoming the president of the Maryland State Firemen's Association is truly exciting. So with that, it's a pleasure to introduce Mr. Benjamin Kurtz, the president of the Maryland State Firemen's Association.
Enjoy yourself. Once again, I got to follow after Richard. I got stuck with that at Linda Deuce's memorial service, and trying to follow Richard is just unbelievable. Good evening, everyone, and I want to say thank you, because each and every one of you have made my job much easier. I couldn't have done it without each and every one of you that is in this room tonight. I want to thank Malia and the LA MSFA. Thank you, Malia. It was a great ride. We're almost there, not quite, but thank you for your friendship and the working together throughout the year. If it's appropriate, Mr. Master of Ceremonies, if I could introduce my guests.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'd like to introduce from my head table, my better half, Tina. Raise your hand. My daughter, Tiffany, son-in-law, Sean, grandson, Braden, Riley, my granddaughter. She's a little shy, that's okay. Don Wiley has been my right-hand man at the food trucks, Don and his wife Linda. Also over at the next table, I got President of Jarrettsville Volunteer Fire Company, John Cooney, and his wife Tammy. Thank you for all your support, everything that Jarrettsville has done for me and Malia. Larry Granis, once again, is another person with the food trucks, the fire police directing traffic. Barb is our auxiliary president. Barb, thank you. Counting money every week with us. It's been a pleasure with the food trucks, and thank you so much. From Hartford Cecil, I have Deb Kurtz, secretary. Did anyone else come, Joe, or that you're aware of, Deb?
I'm not aware of anyone.
Okay. All right. And I don't believe anyone from the county association, Hartford County, showed up either. I have two other important guests that Senator Jason Gallion. Jason, please stand up. Jason is Senate President, District 35. Jason, please stand. Stand. He's been very supportive of fire service. Jason is a life member level. Jason is also a past chief, and this year he was one of the ones that stood up on the Senate floor when we were looking for additional funding for our MSALT. And he made an amendment on the floor of the medical cannabis bill. Unfortunately, it didn't pass. It was voted down by party lines. But Jason, let's give him a round of applause for good support. Thank you, Jason. And looking forward, I know the leadership next year will be moving forward on other bills. Also, Harford County Executive Bob Casserly. Bob used to be a state senator, District 34, and then became our county executive and is moving forward with the county EMS. So thank you, Bob. I want to thank my mentors, Gene, John Denver, Steve Cox. You've been there with me all the way through. I also, if I could have Eric come forward, Skip come forward, Steve come forward, Kate come forward, Lynn come forward, Mitch, please come forward, Darlene also. I couldn't have had a better team than what I had with Eric Smothers as my first vice president and Skip Carey. Nice tie, Skip, I like that. And Skip Carey as my second vice. They have been outstanding partners whenever I needed anything, because let's face it, there's more than one event going on a weekend, and we split things up. To Kate and Lynn, until you're president of this association, you have no idea what these two ladies do. Lynn's the quiet one, but trust me, I can get you fired up on some things, Kate, you know that. But Lynn is always the quiet one that all of a sudden Kate goes, she's got it taken care of. She's got it taken care of. Don't worry about it. It's all good. So I want to thank Kate as our executive director, Lynn as our executive assistant. Thank you so much. To Mitch, not only Mitch is our financial secretary for the MSFA, he is also treasurer of Hartford Cecil. And Mitch is also our money man in charge of our campaign funding at Jarrettsville, assisting Malia and I as we were going through the chairs. And Mitch and I have been together in the fire service for 50 years. And Mitch, I want to thank you. Darlene, the better half.
Yeah.
Darlene, when I went in, Darlene says, do you have anyone to take care of the ladies' activities when we go to the executive? She says, I'll take care of that. And she did with vigor. And thank you, Darlene, for everything. Now, I have to apologize, except for Darlene's gift. The gift was supposed to have been here, guys, of what you ordered. But I'll get it Monday. I ordered it in March. Are you ready for this? Yeah, I ordered this thing in March, your gifts, and they wound up guaranteeing, oh, you'll have it, you'll have it. And then Tina called them the first of the week, and they said, we have a problem. And I said, oh God, here we go. And then she shipped them yesterday, next day, but unfortunately it's next business day, so I'll get them Monday. But it has a photo, and what each of you will receive is a heirloom leather fire bucket. So go ahead, except for Darlene, go ahead and pull out your gift. That's a photo of the real thing that you'll get, okay? You'll get the real thing at the convention, guys. Trust me.
Thank you, Ben.
Okay. Darlene, now you can open yours. Yes.
You gotta get up here.
Go ahead, Darlene. You want me to tell them, or
I
you?
want to tell them.
Go ahead.
You have to understand. Can you hear me? I've never done this before. Hi, everybody. My mom and Ben's mom were best friends when Ben and I was little. Okay.
I was
now,
6. She was 5.
He's older than me. Okay. Anyhow, you have to think about, because he's going to tell me that the story's wrong, but let's see who tells the truth. Okay, me or him. So anyhow, excuse me. We went to the Baltimore Zoo. Long story short, we went to the Baltimore Zoo, and my mom bought me a giraffe. Ben proceeded to break it on the way home. I proceeded to throw up on him. So ever since then, it's been the story of the giraffe. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll treasure it. Thank you.
I learned that you never take the woman's giraffe because she'll throw up. Guys, thank you so much. And you'll get the real thing. I promise. Thank you. I have a few resolutions I want to hand out. The first one's to the Hartford Cecil Firemen's Association. Deb and Mitch, can you come back up as treasurer? Yeah. And sure, John can come forward. I'm not going to wear the whereas, the therefores, and whatever. I just want to say thank you to the Hartford Cecil Firemen's Association for your support that you have given me. And I appreciate and thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Okay. Is there anyone here from the Hartford County Volunteer Fire and EMS Association? Anybody? Steve, come on up. Past president. Steve, on behalf of myself, I want to present to the Hartford County Volunteer Fire and EMS Association a resolution. Thank you for the support. Thank you, Steve.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Also, if I could have from Southern Maryland, Tommy, is there anyone besides yourself as vice president? Who all from Southern Maryland like come forward? Yes, President. Jeff, come on up. And Randy's here as another past president. Thank you, guys. This resolution is to the Southern Maryland Volunteer Firemen's Association on hosting the open house that you had for me February 10th, 2023. Thank you for your support that you've given me my year. Thank you, guys. Victor? Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Jeff?
Yep.
Tim Dayton, are you, you and Jonathan like to come forward? Jonathan, nice bow tie, man. God, that is cool. You're right up there with Skip, man. Just saying.
Don't compare me to Skip.
Okay. I want to say, on behalf of myself and the MSFA, thank you to the Allegheny Garrett Association, to Tim. When I called Tim did the smart thing. He referred hotel accommodations to his wife, Diana. And then Jonathan handled the hospitality. But on behalf of the MSFA, thank you to the Allegheny Garrett Volunteer Fire Rescue Association for hosting the open house March 31st, 2023. It was a fantastic, thank you Jonathan and Tim and Diana. Great hotel accommodations. Thank you guys. Thank you, sir. There you go. Thank you. Finally, yeah, Elaine, come on up. As our speaker, Alan Steele, made mention about the importance of family, and I couldn't be there without them. And I have special presentation. Tiffany and Riley, if you could come forward, and Tina, please come forward. Riley is very busy doing equestrian horse riding, and I haven't had a chance to go to a lot of horse riding, but I promise I'll make more of your horse shows. So here's a small gift, Riley. Love you, babe. Tiffany? We hadn't had a lot of family get-togethers and all, but here's a small gift for you. Love you, babe. Tina. She has supported me throughout my run, and I know it's not been easy for her. It's been rough. A lot of times I've been going away every weekend. I've had something, banquets and other activities. But I do appreciate everything. I appreciate your support, and thank you for being there. I couldn't do it without you. Love you. Looking forward to Ocean City, that we get together. As Richard has stated, it won't be a dull convention at all. But it is what it is. We'll get through it. I want to thank the executive committee. Thank you. Steve, I think I hold the record for the most teleconference in 1 year.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Those special executive committee meetings.
We had 8, so, but we had a lot of business to cover. And I thank each and every one of you. To the past presidents, thank you for your support. I just want to thank everybody. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much.
Steve, I just want to know what you guys would have done without Zoom.
We would have really had a challenge.
You know, it's always a blast to be with the executive committee. It's more fun being with them on Zoom, right? Because somebody controls the mute button. We'll let that go. We'll move now from the president to the president of the Ladies Auxiliary of the Maryland State Firemen's Association again, because they're both from Jarrettsville, and you all know that occasionally it happens. We get 2 seated presidents from the same company. They've had a long-standing working relationship, and they get to enjoy a nice year. Maybe a little bit more burden on the company, but they come through it at the end. Malia was one of those people and has always been, when I have gone to Jarrettsville and encountered the Ladies Auxiliary, regardless of the reason, there was always food involved. So let's start there, all right? I'm a man, I can admit that. There was always food involved. and it was always a pleasure. What's always nice, and people have seen me do this, is I like to make myself at home in the kitchen around the coffee pot and the sink, and I'm very happy doing that, and Jarrettsville is one of those places as well. So that, and is not, short of your leadership there, Malia. So with that, Madam President, if you could start to make your way up here, it's time for you to shine and deliver your message before we embark on Ocean City. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Ladies Auxiliary President, Malia Doughton.
Thank you, Richard. Don't know where to start because it's been a challenge going through these chairs, and I have enjoyed them. They've gone very, very fast. I do want to introduce some of my guests. My husband, Sam Doughton, he had to put up with me all these years, but I'm glad he let me do my journey. I really appreciate it. And Brian and Brittany, guys, thank you for being here. You've been with me from the start as my, in my chairs going up. I'm thinking, who else am I forgetting? From Delaware, I have Debbie Lawhead from Delaware Volunteer Fire Company Association. She's the president right now. Thank you for coming. I appreciate that. I'm going to announce my officers. Senior Vice President Jean Main. Could you stand up when thank you. Junior Vice President Sherry Steffen. Recording Secretary Joan Kramer. Treasurer Christy Grinder. Financial Secretary Holly Trago. Corresponding Jennifer Johnson. Chaplain Kay Trago. Vice Chaplain Robin Shore. Historian Samantha Butterfield, and guard, and guard Cheyenne Wickermeyer. I hope I said that right. It's always I trying to say that. I do want to thank all the past presidents. You've all helped me whenever I needed help. And would you all please stand so people could recognize you all? Thank you again for all your help through all the years that I've been going up. I appreciate it. Thank you, Ben. It's been a really pleasure going up, for the year. Like he said, we had a good time going up. We had the food trucks, and I want to thank also, oh my God, I'm not ready for speeches. I'm not very good at this. God, don't cry. John and Tammy, thank you for helping us with the food trucks. My fire company, Jarrettsville Auxiliary, and I appreciate all the help. I also want to thank Donnie Dietz for being here and being my right hand. You've always been there for me, and I appreciate it. Debbie Woodfin, thank you. And just thank you, everybody. You all are my brothers and sisters, and I love you all. And I'll see you at the convention. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Job well done. We'll look forward to your sessions in Ocean City. Everybody gets the connection with the food trucks, right? You heard me say earlier, sometimes it's a challenge on the company, especially when there's two at the same time coming through the chairs. You need a funding mechanism. They got the funding mechanism, and it was outstanding. And everybody in the region of Jarrettsville will tell you that. Not the community of Jarrettsville, the region. They will tell you it was a success, and it was a pleasure to come there, and it was a success for a funding stream for the company to take care of these two officers. Let's give Jarrettsville Fire Company a big hand. Now, I had some fun when I started, when I said welcome to Ocean City on a beautiful sunny day. Oops. All right. I've had the special pleasure in the past 2 months doing 2 other conventions in Ocean City that I've gotten to introduce the mayor of Ocean City. Well, I get to do it again tonight. You all know this man. He welcomes us every year as we come to Ocean City. He has sent a special video message to us, so we welcome the Honorable Rick Meehan, mayor of the town of Ocean City. Please enjoy on the screens around the room.
Greetings, this is Mayor Rick Meehan. I'd like to congratulate Maryland State Firemen's Association outgoing president Ben Kurtz. President Kurtz has over 49 years of dedicated fire service. I would also like to congratulate the Ladies Auxiliary of Maryland State Firemen's Association outgoing president Malia Dalton. Thank you both for your dedicated service to your community, your county, your state, and our country. I'm sorry I could not be there in person for the celebration tonight, but I wish you the best of luck, and I hope to see you soon in Ocean City.
You all know that Rick Meehan enjoys this association, enjoys our attention to Ocean City, and will be there at convention to welcome you personally. We thank him for taking the time to do that. We're not going to tell him. But if we do, I want a picture of that first frame with him with the scowl on his face, you know? Yes. All right, so now we have a special raffle, and I'm going to ask Peggy Sue Garst to come forward. And there is a lovely handmade blanket up here, and I'm not going to get into the process, but I think I understand what they're doing. So Peggy Sue. There we go. You're in charge.
Oh.
Wow, hold on.
Okay.
There you go.
I've been crocheting since I was 10 years old, and my son was a volunteer for Newmarket Fire Hall. Now he's a DC firefighter, and he got me started making these blankets. He said, "Mom, why don't you crochet a blanket for one of the firefighters?" So I've been doing it now for about 8-9 years, and you all have a special place right here because of what you all do. You keep us safe. You take care of us. When we have a problem, we call 911 and we say, "I need help. Please come take care of a loved one." So with that, somebody special is going to receive this blanket that I made for you.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Alrighty, here we go.
All right, this is your blue ticket that I think everyone has, should be at your place. Here you are.
1978620.
There we go. Dennis. Congratulations, Dennis. Good job.
And you all know where this is going.
Yeah, it's called
We will
an
be
easy
hustling
chair.
tickets in Ocean City. Super.
Oh, man.
Thank you.
Dennis, you got to hold it up. Not everybody has seen it. You got to hold. Here, stretch it out. Come on out here. Oh.
And you get the ribbon. It won first place at the Frederick County Fair.
If you didn't hear Peggy Sue, it won first place at the Frederick County Fair. So the ribbon's attached.
Someone will have an opportunity of winning this on behalf of the Memorial Foundation. Yeah, thank you. And the Memorial Foundation thanks you. Thank you.
and I'll see you in Ocean City.
Peggy Sue, we thank you so much. That's absolutely gorgeous. I can't say anything better than that. It's gorgeous. Thank you very much from all of us and all your wonderful words. Thank you so much. All right? Well, it says now I'm supposed to say a few closing words, and I think that was just done. I can't say it any better than that. You just heard from a wonderful lady who gave her son to the department. He's actively pursuing a wonderful career and volunteer service, and she thought enough to spend a long time crocheting an Afghan for one of us to have. How spectacular is that? Thank you again, Peggy Sue. That's wonderful. For all of us, as we adjourn to Ocean City, we have the challenge in front of us. We know what's on the table. We know where we're going. We just have to come to a resolution. One way or another, we have to come to a resolution. It is time. All right? We're going to dispose of this somehow. All right? We don't want to pass it on to another administration. We want to deal with it under this administration so that that gentleman can move forward and do so. I think that's the appropriate thing for us to do. And I'm the bipartisan person. All right? But we have to do that in session. That's the way we govern this association. Member companies voting by delegate to govern this association and guide its future. It's okay. We make the decision. We make that decision. All right? And that's where we're going with this. All right? However it lays out. Maybe a few challenges along the way, but we will get there. We will get there under the leadership of these two presidents and the executive committee chair. And that will govern our direction. All right? And the final say will be by ballot vote, as we always have. All right, I wish all of us the very best as we go to Ocean City and take on that challenge. I wish all of you safe travels home. Please stay and enjoy some fellowship. We can do that till 9:45, so the time is ours. Now, the centerpieces on your table are awarded to the person that has a red sticker located on the back of your program. Some of you are cheating. I haven't finished. The red sticker on the back of your program. You take that beautiful centerpiece that's there. For me, it's been a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you on behalf of Kathy and myself. Good night, safe travels. We'll see you at the beach. Hold on, Ben has a message. Where's that gavel? I almost.
President's privilege.
Of course.
To the past presidents, committee chairs, if you haven't had an opportunity, there is bags over in the far corner on the other side of the bar there. Please take one with you. If any of the past presidents, all officers should have received, and past presidents, committee chairs, and all officers of the MSFA, please make sure you get a bag. Thank you.
All right. And the last message is tomorrow. Tomorrow here in Annapolis is the Maryland State Fire Rescue Memorial at Memorial Plaza. We hope all of you, especially those spending the night here, will take the time to be there tomorrow. Help me out. It begins at what time? 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. So thank you very much. Safe travels. Take care. Good night.